Okay, this is Mario with MI Microflight once again, and in continuation with this project that I'm working on, I thought I'd do another video, just putting down some ideas on how I'm going to motivate or mobilize the locomotive, which is something that I'm going to be working on next. And so I bought these little motors that are designed for toy cars, and they have a dual axle. In other words, they drive two wheels on the side of the gear assembly that's integral part of the motor with the motor. So I bought some of those units, and I also have 3-volt lithium-ion batteries that I plan on using in this particular design here, because these motors that I bought run on 3 to 6 volt DC voltage. And so I've been sketching some ideas on how I want the motor to be part of the locomotive. The motor has to be, because of the design of the motor, the way it's designed, the axle of one of the wheels has to be in line with these mirror image drive receptacles or necks or stems that extend out of the motor. So that cannot be changed. You only have two options on installing a motor with a wheel, either horizontally or vertically. So those are the two options that you have, unless you make your own gears. And it gets really complex when you start designing your own gears. I was considering doing that, but I decided to avoid that, just to make these things a lot faster. As I said in my first video, I don't have a lot of time, and I don't mean hours. Considering my age and the the years that are ahead of me, and it's not like when I was younger and I didn't think about time. Now time seems to be an important thing, very important as we get older, and I think anybody my age will understand that. But putting that aside, let's go back to the design. And like I said, these are some of my ideas. All the electronic parts, such as the motor, I'm planning on using a speed control here. So this will have the some kind of a speed control that needs to be installed on somewhere in the locomotive, as well as an on-off switch. All those things have to be integrated into the locomotive. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the obviously I'm going to start with the motor, because that's going to be driving the locomotive. And I think I'm set on this motor being as part of this wheel assembly. That can be at the rear of the locomotive, or it could be at the front. And the other section of the wheel assembly is going to house this 3-volt lithium-ion battery. It may even hold another one to elevate the voltage to 6 volts, to make it a little bit more powerful and faster. Because it's going to have a speed control here, I'm not concerned too much about using 2 batteries here. In fact, I think it'll be just fine with the 2 batteries here, and I can vary the voltage. I can slow it down, and I think this would be a much better option, to just go with the 6 volts, because these motors run on 6 volts. Okay, having done all that and putting those basic steps there, I need to do some kind of a sketch, that's going to show the locomotive here. So we're talking about starting with the base. Obviously, this is going to have the some kind of a the wheel assemblies, and depending on the design or the particular aesthetics of the locomotive, this can have a set of wheels here, either 246. You can go with 2-4 at the very minimal. Two assemblies of 4 wheels each, like the boxcar, or maybe we'll go with something with bigger wheels at the back, and maybe some smaller wheels at the front. I think that might be my option here. Just go with something like that, just to keep it very simple. Obviously, I'm going to need to have a base, which can be very similar to this base here. I mean, there's no need to change the design unless the particular aesthetics of the locomotive require it so. But I think I'm going to remain consistent in the base, so that all the bases for the cars, including the locomotive, stays the same, or at least in width, and very very basic details, such as the pivot points where these wheel assemblies are located. The motor is going to be on one of these wheel assemblies, and then the batteries will be on the other one. Or I can bring the batteries outside and just put them on top of this base of the locomotive. I'm not even designing the locomotive additional parts here, just to keep it simple. But eventually I will be doing something. I don't know, something like that. And this is just a really rough sketch. I'm just kind of doing this from my mind, from what I've seen in some other little train sets, and this will probably be massaged, when I do this in a CAD, on CAD. But basically, you have a little caboose here where the conductor sits, or the train engineer operates the train in full scale, and that's just a little box, with a kind of a curved roof, real easy. And then the front is typically just a barrel, just a kind of this can be just a kind of horseshoe shape type of part that can just slip over the top here is a cover. I think this is the way some people do it. And this can be embellished, with a little more detail here, to provide additional, maybe a light here, maybe a couple lights on the side. And then once that's done, you have basically, as far as the locomotive is concerned, you have 3 parts. Basically, you have the base, you have the cabin, and you have the this cover here, what would this be called? The nose, and that's a cover. Oh, this can be integrated with this as one piece cover, or this can be just a symbol, pretty much like that. Is as a symbol, in pieces and panels. So I think I will make this in panels: front panel, side panel. So this will have 3 panels, and those will be front and 2 sides. This nose cover can be further enhanced with provisions for the smoke stack. That can be just a separate piece. That smokestack is a separate piece. This can be a whistle. I don't know. I've seen some of these things have additional embellishments or details. I don't know what those are for. Maybe a bell. Whistle, bell, smokestack, bell here. We'll put bell here. Okay, so once all those details are figured out and become part of this nose cover. These can be lights. Once that becomes part of this cover, then it's a lot easier to start adding the components such as maybe a smoke pump here. And I'm really going through this very crude and very quick here, just to get all these ideas in place here. Smoke pump, and of course the motor will be hidden underneath this one of these wheel assemblies. Batteries can be hidden here, or the batteries can be part of this underneath this cover, this nose cover. So the batteries can be right there, or maybe not. Let's see, if we keep the battery on this particular assembly here or at the back of this cabin, then we have room for electronic board here, an electronic board, and maybe a switch that can be part of one of these things. I've seen people do switches as part of these things, and they just cover them, just to hide the switches, or a control system, potentiometer here to control the motor speed. And basically that's all there is. I mean, if you want to go further, in adding details, you can add I don't know, details. I think trains have these bumpers, that are sort of like that, just a little peg with a circular plate there. You can do that. I mean, I can implement the same slats detail as I have here on this curved section of the cabin. And of course, the back of this train has to have these little guys here, which are these little clips that I showed in my other video that have the integral spring. This part right here is the spring, and so the bottom here of this train would have to be some kind of a. Let me put it here. Let me design it opposite that way. So this we're looking at the back here. So this is the back. It's looking at from that angle right there. And let's put this guy right here. This will have to be somehow like that. So this will have to have provisions for a pin so that this can pivot. So this arm can pivot, and I'm going to exaggerate the design here just because I'm working by hand here. And it's got the spring right here, part of the spring. So this base, that base of the locomotive will also have to have some kind of a stop here, and this can be just a little screw that's screwed onto the base here. Here's the base. So that when this pivots here, when this is forced to engage with the other cars, this is going to have a stop, and this is allowed to pivot that way and hook into the other adjacent or matching or mirror image hook as part of the other cars. So the same feature will need to be placed on every base of every one of these cars, beginning with the locomotive. Well, in this case, beginning with that one, because I've already done that in CAD. And so I'm just doing the process is how I approach these things. I typically do a sketch here, and then I take it into the CAD, and then I start massaging, the proportions and working from there. It's a lot easier when you have this. Many times I can do this without sketching, yes, just out of my head. As I'm sketching here manually, I just go on the computer and just direct from the mind, just put these things. A lot of times I do that, but in this case, because I'm taking a little break here, I decided to just put this on paper, and maybe just to show other people how you can do this fairly easy And if you understand just the basic concepts of these things, it's fairly easy to do. What I think some people have a hard time doing this, because I have talked to people that have asked me, how do you do this? I mean, how do you approach this? And what I say to people that ask me that question is, what you have to approach this is, if you understand the mechanics of a vehicle, let's say a car, you don't need to worry about the brake system. The main function of a little car is, you have four wheels, you have a platform, and you have a cover. And if you approach, the car from this sort of perspective, you don't need to worry about the steering wheel, even the seats. Those are details that you can add on as you become more proficient, and more you start to get more involved in the details of something. But you can basically just do a car, very very simple. Just a box, is the platform for the wheels, obviously, and then you can build, your sides. Just make it look like a car, real easy. Just you can mock this up in cardboard, which is really really easy, or foam board, and you know and then just make a cutout here for the window, and basically you have the shape of a more aesthetically realistic car with very basic structure. And so that is my answer when somebody asks me, how do you do something that may seem very complex. This may seem very complex to somebody who doesn't have the idea of the mechanical workings and some idea of proportions and size and aesthetics. So I thought I'd do this video, and I hope this is a little bit more interesting in this journey that I'm taking in going into this project here, for my grandkids, as I mentioned in my first video. So stay tuned for more from this. I'm going to take it to CAD, and then you'll see the effect of what happens when you do this and you go into CAD, and then you finally go into the 3D model. Stay tuned for more. This is Mario with MI Microflight.